Game na?
Yup, there. What is up, fellow bench warmers? We are live. Uh, we are live here on Facebook, and I hope you are all well tonight. My name is JJT with Komish Eric. Komish,
Yep. Hi, guys.
big day
Hello.
today in the NBA as we had 12 games on the slate. And maybe as we wait for some of the viewers and followers to join in. Maybe we can talk a bit about some of the games today. Any
Yep.
surprises for you?
In terms of performers,
Well, let's first talk about some injuries. Miles Turner sprained his ankle during warm up, so he was out. And then Zach Levine was ruled out due to knee management. Are you worried about that? That's I think that for me is the most worrying.
yeah. Zach Levine is kind of worrisome because it's the knee that he had surgery on. So that one. Miles Turner, I don't know if I'm gonna laugh about it or what, that he stepped on a ball boy.
This is this is a reverse Miles Turner situation, right? Usually Miles Turner gets injured at the end of the season, but this one's a reverse thing.
Yeah, it's a you could say it's a reverse thing. You could say he's just injury prone. You could say he's unfortunate. I don't know, but it's annoying because well, I guess that's what people categorize him, injury prone. So now, this is not gonna help. But hopefully it's just minor. I hope the ball boy's foot is not that big to 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 make him sit out longer. So
Uh,
I think it should be minor.
so
Kristaps also sprained his ankle.
during the game, this was during the game,
Yeah, yeah. No,
not
no, before
before.
the game. Before
Oh,
the
but he
game.
played. But he played.
He played, but he said it was bothering him a bit. That's why he didn't play that well. 15 points, I think. There.
Yeah, one surprise shown here by Irvin Villanueva is Bruno Fernando starting
Yeah.
for Sengun. What's your
That's
take on
that
that?
that's surprising. I don't know. I know a lot of people will pick Fernando, and I think, yeah, go ahead. Pick Bruno. I mean, add Bruno if you want, but I don't think it's gonna be long term. I don't think it's gonna be sustainable. Bruno had 7 assists today, 7 points, 2 blocks. All of those stuff. The assists definitely won't stay. That won't happen
Yeah,
again. The blocks, yes, the rebounds will be there, but I doubt that they will continue this this starting over Sengun thing for the whole season. Somewhere out there, they're gonna make the change.
this
They're gonna
could be
make the change.
another. This could be similar to last year. We might be guess. It might be a guessing game on when Sengun would start.
Yes, yes, that is possible. That is possible.
Uh,
So well, but this is Bruno. This is not Christian Wood. So I think it won't be as bad as last year. And Sengun, despite 22 minutes, I think, or 20 something minutes, he had 15 points, 9 rebounds. Wait,
yeah,
something's
not
wrong with
not bad. I mean, solid performance as well from uh Sengun. All right, let's
wait.
maybe get into some of the questions already. Uh,
Yeah.
here, can you see the questions?
Um. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So, drop Brandon Clark. I would guess for Kessler 14 team.
Yeah. I do. If it wasn't Kessler, maybe some low upside player, I would say wait for a couple of games maybe to see if Brandon Clark will be better than today. He'll be better than today. But as I said, I wrote a while ago, I don't know, in Twitter and Facebook, that he might be more of a roto guy this year. Santi is just outplaying him from preseason till now. So I don't see that changing. And I don't see Clark starting because the offense, Steven Adams and Clark don't mesh well. So maybe they'll stick with Santi and Clark will be around 20-21 minutes for the rest of the year. And we don't even know if Santi plays this well like today. If JJJ comes back, we don't even know. Nothing is given. We're not even sure if Clark will continue to be in the rotation and will be a backup center. Will get even lesser minutes. So I'm okay with that because Walker Kessler, I think, has a very, very high upside this year in fantasy.
Yeah, now I guess one of the questions would be also about some of the rookies, and in particular, Kessler, Jalen Duren, two
Yeah.
centers, not starters, but has very good potential. Jalen Duren had a double double as well today. What do we take? If you had to choose, which one would you rather have?
In fantasy, I would choose for this year only Walker Kessler because I'm 100% sure they're gonna tank. I'm 100% sure that they're gonna be playing him major minutes as long as he can take it somewhere in the season. Duren, I know dynasty wise, he's the guy I want. I know he's good. I know he's better than Kessler. But you don't know about Dwayne Casey. If Bagley comes back, Isaiah Livers was out today. There's still Nerlens Noel, although he didn't play. I don't know if there's an injury or it's just coach's decision. There's Isaiah Stewart. There's a lot of things that has to happen. And Detroit themselves, Dwayne Casey, they have to realize that they have a potential star here and play him. We're not that's not a given. That teams don't usually figure that out right away. Sometimes they'll say take it slow, 15 minutes, 12
Yeah,
minutes. So that's
plus
not a
he's
given.
like what, 18 years old. I mean, very young,
Youngest
very
player in the league. Yeah, youngest player in the league.
right. So I mean, he played well today. But like we said with every rookies, expect some ups and downs throughout the season. I think that also includes performances from Banquero, who played well, Jaden Ivey, who played well, Jabari Smith played so, not really as good as we would want, but at least he contributed a bit. I mean, it wasn't a bust type of performance from him. Shout
Maturin.
out to, yeah, Maturin also played well. I think Maturin was one of the biggest surprise because it was a nice line other than scoring or
Yes.
points.
At this point, maybe just to summarize, Duren, if Duren's still available, you just have to pick him up. You just have to pick him up. If you're thinking Bruno Fernandes or Duren, Bruno Fernando or Duren, that's Duren. No questions about it. I don't care if Bruno starts. The upside is just too much for Duren. If it doesn't work out, then just drop him. It's okay. But can't miss out on a guy like that. If you have a chance to see what he can do. So Duren, and then Maturin for me is an add. Ivy, of course, should be added, and then of course Walker Kessler. These guys are addable, but Tari Eason, many people might ask about Eason. I think this is what we should expect. He's not gonna
A
be
hold for me. It's still just
for
one
now.
game. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hold for now.
for now. But remember, Tate didn't play today. He got 15 minutes. KJ Martin played more than him. So Houston likes to do these things. They're not gonna just let the rookies play right away.
Just
So
imagine
there's
they
gonna be
played Fernando over Sengun, right?
Yeah, so it's gonna be a slow burn for their fantasy value, but as long as you have patience there, your team is strong enough to hold, then hold. But after 3 to 4 games, if it's still 13, 14, 15 minutes for Eason, you have to make a change if your team is struggling already. It's up to your fantasy teams really how strong they are and how
Yeah,
if they can carry a player like Eason if Eason's just playing 13, 14 minutes.
yeah. If your team is strong enough to withstand that one player who's not playing as much, right? You can keep
Yeah,
you can keep Eason.
Eason,
Just
Jalen Williams, right?
let's just
These
throw
players.
out some shout out. Ronnie Suntay, Mai Nison, Irvin Leo, of course, the question about Bruno Fernando. Bert Monroy is watching as well. One user said he got Bruno in two of the FBW teams, so I would think he is either in the Champions League and one of the public leagues. How about this? 18
What?
teams, sino pa pwede pick up? Who can you pick up for 18 teams? 18
Okay,
teams.
I don't know who are in his 18 team waiver wires. I don't have any 18 teams, but very deep names. Dayron Sharp from Brooklyn,
Mhm.
the backup of Nicholas Claxton. He did shoot terribly today. He was 1 out of 8, but he played I think 22 minutes, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He should be okay. Dennis Smith Jr. if somehow he's available there. Um, I think
I
he
don't know
he
if
he
Conchar would still be available in case Dylan Brooks would be out still.
yeah,
But
Conchar.
18
Dylan Wright.
teams might not be.
Dylan
Yeah,
Wright.
Dylan Wright.
Dylan
Yeah.
Wright, Washington. I like Dylan. I mean, similar to Dennis Smith Jr., but he doesn't score as much. But I think the role of Dylan Wright will be better than Dennis Smith Jr. because if Lamelo comes back, Dennis Smith might not be, be not played anymore. But if Dylan Wright, he's just backing up Monte Morris. Today he played more than Monte Morris, so I like Dylan Wright. So who else? But in 18 teams, I don't like to drop Dylan Brooks. I mean, I'll put him in the IL if you have
Yeah.
an IL. Yeah.
Do not drop Dylan Brooks there.
Who else? We have
Um
a lot of deep league intriguing players. Let's see. I'll look at um my list. But those are the names that are Bol Bol. I mean, maybe Bol Bol is there. He played 18, 19 minutes in 18 team leagues. Could be worth your ad already. And
I'm not
yeah,
sure if he's gonna be available. Terrence Davis
Terrence
of
Davis,
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
He was good last
Yep.
year before he got injured. Actually, it was supposed to be a breakout. I mean, he had a great game and then he got injured. So he didn't play at all after that. So, but he is a player to watch.
But
Nick
remember
Richards, if he
Nick Richards, yes. Keegan Murray didn't play today.
did
So
not
Terrence
play. Yeah,
Davis,
did not play.
yeah,
But it's
that's
18 team. I mean,
yeah. I
uh,
mean,
I don't
you
think
can,
there's a lot of players better, I guess. Um, Jeremy Sochan started
ah,
today for
Sohan, yes. For San
the
Antonio.
Spurs.
Josh Primo, I also like Josh Primo. He played 25 minutes today. I think
These
that's
are
gonna be a
these are deep league guys. These are 18
yes.
team, 20 team maybe. Not
That's
really
gonna be
for the
annoying for
40
Trey
team.
Jones. I don't think Josh Primo will just not get minutes. They're gonna develop Josh Primo, and if there will be a lot of games that the Spurs are gonna be blown out, and you better be sure that Trey Jones won't be playing a lot of minutes when they're blown out. It's gonna be Primo. Like today, Primo got 25 minutes. So Josh Primo in Minnesota, Jalen Noel, he's a points guy. So somebody also to consider.
All right, this one. Let's look at this one. Among the games today was the player who surprised you the most.
Hmm.
Who surprised you the most?
Surprising is, let's say, there's a lot of players. I can answer the player who disappointed. I guess one of them for me, Bamba, Mo Bamba. He played only 12 minutes today. I think he's bordering a drop already at this point. So Bamba is really a very disappointing player. The one that surprised me, let me see, could be Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Jaden surprised me. The fact that I think he had 3 steals, 3 blocks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Three steals,
That's
two blocks, something like
three
that.
steals, 2 blocks. But the 9 out of 10 free throw shooting that surprised me. I didn't expect him to get to the line that much. So Jaden was a surprise. A lot of players. I know you maybe you have
Yeah, I
a
think Jaden was one. But one player that disappointed. I think there's a few who disappointed. Anthony Edwards was a disappointment after a very hyped draft. I mean, he shot 4 out of 17. didn't really seem to play well. I think they're just trying to figure it out. Kyle Lowry played very bad today.
Yes.
Capella is a bit of a worry because he seemed to have time shared with Okongwu today. It wasn't even in foul trouble. So those are the guys that probably disappointed at the uh, top
I
end of.
I was
Yeah,
surprised with Jalen Suggs. I would say I did
surprised
say
that he played too.
I, well, they
He
already announced he
started.
would play. They already announced he would play a day or
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah,
before.
but he
But
started because of Cole.
yes, but the fact that he played well, he had 4 3 pointers today. That's the shooting was good. As far as I remember, he shot the ball well today. He was 8 out of 11, 4 out of 6 from 3 point line. That surprised me, and that I don't think will be sustainable. But that surprised me. And also to answer your another the question, also in the rookie situation, Jaden Ivey surprised with his efficiency. I was surprised that he was this efficient
It's
right
the
off
first
the bat in
game.
his first game. In his first game, because usually when a rookie like Jaden is like a very hype player who's energetic. Sometimes they get over excited and then get a lot of turnovers, a lot of errors because it's their first game. But he was very composed today, so that surprised me. Jaden Ivey surprised me certainly for rookies.
Uh,
So there,
yeah. Also, not really related, but Darius Garland was a disappointment just because he got injured early or
yeah.
early on. So he had a not so nice line. All right, let's talk about this. Thoughts on Shea? Too many years resting, and I doubt they can even win even if he's playing. My thought on Shea is that if you have him, just enjoy the ride because everyone knows that they might tank, they might rest him, but at least he played well when he's there. So
It's like this. If you have Shea, the chances of you trading him for someone maybe you can say better, same value or whatever is if you're in a competitive league that listens to fantasy bench warmers or whoever.
or
That's
whoever.
the
I
most
mean, even if they don't listen to anyone, if they're
yeah,
very veteran, these are
it's
veteran
slim.
managers. They know.
Yeah, it's slim because the manager knows that you're trading this guy because of something, because of a reason, no? They've been playing fantasy, they know the past few years what has happened. So nobody we can speculate. We all speculating he's going to be rested. But last year he wasn't. Really
He
wasn't. I
wasn't
mean,
rested as much.
he
Yeah, he
wasn't
wasn't
rested as
rested as
much.
much.
I think you just hope for the best. Just just
Hope
try.
they lose more.
Yeah, just try to enjoy having Shea because he's really good. And as I said, if he was with another team, semi contending or semi decent team, probably be the roles the draft positions of Shea and Cade or Shea and Anthony Edwards might be reversed. I mean, Shea's for me fantasy wise better than those two, but just
Yeah,
because of the injury history and the resting history is dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. So most managers were able to pick him at the 40s already because of the injury.
which is good.
That's
I mean, if you pick
which
him
is
at the
already
40s,
okay.
I mean, you
Yes,
could
which
just
is
ride
already
with him.
okay.
It's easier to ride with him at the 40s rather than picking him at the 20s or the 30s even. If you
It-
pick him the 40s, 50s, I think that's an easy
yeah,
ride
just
with
trade with
Shea.
him. And Angel said here that there's a part here I doubt they can win even if he's playing.
They
One
can
thing
win.
about OKC though, they're much better than their roster because their coach is really good.
Yeah,
So I think it's not just about they will win games, not enough to make it even to the play-in, but that's too much still for Sam Presti, for Sam Presti's liking. I think if they win like 20 games, that's still too much for him
I mean,
because they will be fighting with San Antonio and some other teams for that worst spot this year. So they would want even less wins if possible.
yeah. If you
So
look at the history, OKC has been really good. Uh, they're really not good playoff good, but they're good for a quote unquote tanking team. There would be tanking teams where you'll say this is a tanking team, and the roster clearly shows that it is a tanking team. OKC looks like a tanking team, but when they play really well. So I think, yeah, just ride with Shea. The Probably the most popular pickup during the preseason was Santi Aldama. I think he's gonna stick to the starting lineup. I think that's a given until Jaren Jackson Jr. Joins the team sometime December or January. So it has
And
probably
and
two
as I
three
said,
months to to enjoy this.
I don't even. We're not sure. It's not a given that if JJJ comes back, Santi will be like Omer Yurtseven last year. I remember Omer when Bam was out, he was
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
good. When people are saying like it's ticking time bomb when Bam comes back, and we were saying maybe he gets minutes. He was too good not to be given minutes. When Bam came back, he was totally zero. But with Santi, I believe there's a chance that he still is in the rotation. Of course, he won't get as many minutes as he did today, but he's been playing very well for a long time already. That I think there's a chance he still gets minutes. But of course, it won't be like right now. So this is peak Santi Aldama in my opinion. But trading him this early is a mistake. You know, you have to time it properly. I know people are thinking sell high, sell high, sell high, but after one game, you can still squeeze more value out of Santi stocks that you have before you dispose of him. Not too near JJJ's return date, but somewhere maybe early December, maybe sometime like that. And then, you can get good value still. And then you were able to squeeze a lot of value out of Santi already for 1 month and a half, something like that.
yeah. All right. So this one, I missed this one, but I think this one is one of the major
Mm.
disappointments.
Yeah,
15
that one.
minutes. Isaiah Jackson. 15 minutes only. Did not really show much in 15. I think he only had 3 points or what.
Three
Really a
points, three
forgettable
rebounds.
performance.
Yeah, 3 points, 3 rebounds, one block, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was without Miles Turner, so I'm not sure what's going on there. If you're gonna ask if he's a drop, I think it's too early to do that.
No, no, you
Definitely
don't
not.
drop.
Unless you're in maybe an 8 team league or a 10 team league, maybe there will be more options there for you. But yeah, hold on to him. Uh, that's by Nico Caranto. I think
I
I know who this person is.
Probably this is Joao. Huh?
Is he? Are you up against him?
No, no, I'm up against Coach Sandy. Coach
All
Sandy
right.
Arespa.
So Zion
Yeah, but
looking good. The comment there,
yeah,
yeah, he did. He does look good.
but
And
the free
New
throws.
Orleans looks good too
Yeah, the free
overall.
throws was good today. I don't expect that to last. So I'm happy with the good free throws because he doesn't really fit my team. I don't know why I picked him. uh, Not really thinking properly. That's a problem sometimes with offline drafts, slow drafts. I don't know, you sometimes can mess you up. But the free throws were good today. That's the part I'm happiest about. The steals, 3 steals today. That's good, as we said. If Zion really screws up free throw shooting, but he adds at least a couple of steals and maybe a block, just one, that's already a big thing for his fantasy value. So he looks good. He looks good.
How about this one from Mart plus one? Jalen Williams.
I
Uh,
dropped him already. I picked him in 4 or 5 leagues. I dropped him all of those leagues. But I know that he will be a popular ad sometime this season, but I don't want to wait when that will happen. I think he also got injured today. He played 5 minutes only. Five, something like that. 5 to 8 minutes before he got injured.
yeah,
And SGA is healthy. Lou Dort is there. Baisley is there. Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams.
it's a deep
So
team. It's a deep team.
deep, it's deep in, not deep in good deep, but I mean there are players that they want to play that are in the
Yeah.
rotation. So yeah, I dropped him for now. If somebody picks him up at the right time, then good for them. But it's timing really. Right now, it's not the right time.
By Angel again, Kelly Olynyk. Safe to drop 14 team.
Not for me. I own him in 14 teams. I'm holding on. Today he had 5 fouls or 6 fouls. He was just in foul trouble from the start.
Both of them, I think. Kelly and Vanderbilt. were both in foul
Yeah,
trouble.
Vanderbilt. Yes, correct. Both
Fouled,
of them
I
were in
think
foul trouble.
Vanderbilt fouled out even.
Yes, and he had Vanderbilt. I think already had 10 rebounds by halftime by the first half. I saw it,
Yeah,
and then he wasn't able to play properly anymore after that because he was really in foul trouble. And Olenek even got a technical foul. So he was the rhythm was off. If he got only, I don't know, 15 minutes only Olenek because of foul trouble. If not, if he got limited minutes and he wasn't in foul trouble, I would probably consider dropping. But you know,
the I guess
it's not the
the
case.
just for everyone, maybe the rule or guideline here, you don't just drop starters on the first game unless they're clearly they don't have any value there as a starter. But uh, Olinik as a starter, he has proven he can give you the numbers, fantasy numbers. So I think he deserves some more love, and you probably have
Among
to
the
wait.
among the disappointing players today, I would say player I would be okay with dropping is Bamba
Yeah,
because there's just no path
and he
yet for
no, he
minutes.
isn't even starting.
He's not starting, and we know that he won't start. But he got 12 minutes out of 33 for Wendell
Yeah,
Carter, and I don't think that will change anytime soon. Now, Isaac wasn't even there, and then Ball is
in the
emerging.
rotation,
Yes, in I mean emerging. So
just in
that's
time
one
for this
player.
question. Yeah, Mo Bamba.
Yeah, that's one player I would be okay dropping. I own a Bamba share, and I'm still holding on to him because I'm still leading uh, in that matchup. So I'm just waiting for maybe a game more, but I'm
In
okay with
short,
dropping him
his commission
if
is
there's
too
Duren.
strong in that league.
No, no, not a. I mean, maybe the first two games was just first 2 days. My players were okay, but I'm ready to drop him. The others, Monte Morris, Trey Jones, who else? Well, Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark, another player that possibly could be dropped soon. I'm projecting that he will be dropped soon.
Yeah. Here's a question from Federico Marana: Duren or Hartenstein?
I'm a
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein boy. You know me. I have a lot of Hartensteins. I think I have four or five or six
I know
Hartensteins.
everyone's high on Duren just because he had a double double today, but he's still a rookie. He's 18. I'm not even sure how established the role is for him because usually with rookies, and he might be they might play around with the role that's being given to him. So the role isn't clear. Hartenstein, on the other hand, clearer role. He's behind Mitch Robinson, who usually most often gets into foul trouble. So that's the biggest thing about Mitch Robinson. So I think
Yeah,
Hartenstein would have a more secure role.
and easier path to minutes. He had 40
Yeah,
minutes today just because Mitch Robinson got into foul trouble, and that's not even with Mitch Robinson getting injured. If Mitch Robinson gets injured, even just a little ding there, game time decision, miss 1 or 2 games, he's gonna get even more minutes. Plus, Tibbs would love Hartenstein. He can pass. Today he had 4 assists, 7 rebounds, 16 points, and then he didn't even have his usual stocks today. The steals and the blocks were just so. He more possible pathways to relevance is Hartenstein over Duren. So
yeah.
Hartenstein first.
Uh, how about this? Reddish, Cam Reddish had a great game since we're in New York. He had what 28, I think 26. Although it's an
Mm,
overtime game, so um, you have to take that into consideration. There were more minutes to go around each player, but for me, he's a watch, at least a watch, right? He can be good, but we know Tibbs doesn't really like him as much, so this
well,
could be a one-time thing.
Quentin Grimes was out today, so that's something to consider with Cam Reddish's performance. Chamba game, maybe. Maybe there's not Chamba. Maybe it was a good timing because of
Good
Grimes'
matchup as
absence.
well, I think.
Yeah, I think, and they would need a scoring option off the bench. Quickly also struggled, so everything fell into place for him. Not adding him.
by Anthony Luis Alba, one for Roto players. DeAndre Hunter in 12 team Roto. Too shallow, maybe for I don't know.
How many roster spots is that? I don't know. 13?
Let's say the 13 roster spots. That's
13, that's
the
150 something players. Yeah, maybe your last spot in your roster is fine. I would say this Hunter is better in Roto than head to head.
yeah,
He doesn't
like
he
a
doesn't
Mikal
do
Bridges type of
well. He doesn't
game.
do much like Mikal. He doesn't have stocks. We know that
Yeah,
he scores threes. That's it, points and threes. But the good thing about him, he doesn't turn the ball over also.
yeah,
And as much as we hate to say those things, in head to head that doesn't matter as much as in Roto. In Roto, we want to be balanced, we want to be efficient. So Hunter is better there. So yeah,
right.
I don't
And
know
then
why you're streaming in Roto though, because there's a game cap there. So I usually don't
it's just
stream
yeah,
in Roto.
I don't do, but just pick up the best looking or available players there. Just see how they perform. I mean, you could pick him up and then maybe later use him. Nick Richards, Isaiah James asked about Nick Richards, who came off the bench in Charlotte. Now, this one, I would say, I'm not sure if it's a automatic ad because it was a lopsided game, if I could remember correctly. And if in lopsided games they get, players like these get the chance. Although Nick Richards was the announced official backup of Plumlee, so he might be able to get value there.
In 16 teams, I think you can add him. He reminds me of stat set like Marvin Bagley, rebounds and points. He can easily get double double like he did today, but low upside. Not really a player who's talented in my opinion. He's just a solid guy. That's why maybe Clifford likes him because in college he's not a freshman out of college. He's already 2 years into the NBA plus he played a lot of college ball. So solid guy overall. More of a streamer, I think, or if you really need centers or bigs, or if you're in 16 team, 18 team leagues, Nick Richards is okay.
Yeah. Zach Collins by George Santa Ana.
I'm
Did
not. He's not
Zach?
getting San Antonio. He's not getting enough minutes.
Yeah.
Sohan is starting. He's a watch guy. I mean, maybe monitor him a little, but he. I mean, 12 minutes in a blowout game. Not much. I like him. I like his game, but the
The
role is not
minutes are just not there. The
yeah, the
minutes,
role is not there.
if he's given minutes, he would probably be more
Yeah,
fantasy relevant.
yeah.
Even like a 25-minute game, he
But
should be good.
in 12 minutes he did have five stocks. He did have one steal and four blocks. So
He is a good per minute. I mean, player. It's just
yeah,
that the minutes aren't enough. I
yeah.
mean,
But maybe the minutes were skewed a little bit by the
the
blowout.
lopsided.
Yeah, they
Maybe.
played Roby, they played Dieng, they played these
I
guys
mean,
that maybe they won't play. So
depends on
monitor him.
yeah, monitor him and depends on how deep the league is. I mean, if you're not 18, maybe he's worth an ad there. Just speculative.
But he
Uh,
won't do one steal for a block every game. I mean,
yeah,
that's not that's not gonna happen. So
uh,
he's not a guy that I will add right away.
here, Kent Tornilla. Highland was so, right? Nothing
16
special
minutes,
today.
16 minutes only. So very
Uh,
disappointing.
yeah. But I think he's still a hold, given the upside. Plus, of course, Jamal Murray, the primary backup of Jamal Murray. I think he'll be given. Uh, if you drop him, that's an overreaction after the first game for me. Dinwiddie, I'm not a big fan
Started.
of Dinwiddie, but what did he do today? They
He had
lost
around they lost
after
here around 15 points, three threes, three boards, three assists, and no steals, no blocks as usual. I mean, that's Dinwiddie special. Although he did shoot well today, he usually shoots terribly and then gives you points and assists. That's it, and a couple of threes. So he's okay. Actually, Dinwiddie and Highland might be similar this year. In my opinion, it's just that Highland was hyped a bit because of the departure of Monte Morris. So people were saying that he would be the lone guy off the bench is gonna get minutes. But from what we saw today, he's not gonna get 30 minutes. I mean, 22 to 23 minutes might even be a struggle for him because Mike Malone is Mike Malone. He's like, Tibbs, like Clifford, and all these coaches. They just don't give out minutes just because you're the most talented scorer off the bench. He had 16 today. That is low. If the next few games he just goes to 18, 20, then I
Might
would
not be
consider
enough.
might not be enough. I could consider dropping him because now at that point you will really need to hope that Jamal Murray misses a lot of games for him to really get value.
Yeah. So Boucher did play today, so
Yeah,
he's
I
injured,
have.
and I I've seen lots of Boucher on the waiver wire in a 14 team, so I don't think he's worth a stronghold in a sense. So not a favorite as well of the coach. So, but if you have an
Anybody
IL plus, I mean,
But
wait till
anybody owning Boucher? Did you see the rotation of Toronto today? I mean, the first five, Siakam, OG, Barnes, Van Vliet, Trent had 34, 35 minutes. Van Vliet had 39, OG had 38. And then the bench was four power forwards. Tad Young and I don't know,
Precious
Paloco,
Achua.
Achua, and there's not Otto Porter's not even there. I don't know where you could fit Boucher there. I mean, you're gonna fit him somewhere. Maybe he gets 12, 13 minutes a game, sometimes 16, sometimes 20, then sometimes 10, sometimes no minutes. But that's not a recipe to own someone, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not interested in Boucher unless an
Plus he's
injury happens.
plus he's still injured. So I mean, the injury happened to Boucher. So um, Damian Lee had a great game. Yeah. Well, it's so game. I mean, 11 points, just a game winner, I think.
No, if you watch the game, it seemed like he's like a superstar more than when you see the stats. Like, oh, he this what the impact was there, the
Yeah, yeah,
energy,
yeah.
the experience, but not fantasy
Fantasy
relevant.
wise, yeah.
Nah.
Fantasy wise, not so. Trey Murphy the third. Is it the third? Is it the fourth?
The third,
The third.
Trey Murphy the third.
All right,
I think
thanks,
that's his name,
Arthur.
Trey Murphy the
You
third.
put one too many eyes there.
Thoughts on Trey Murphy? I have in all of my
No
deep leagues I have
thoughts.
Trey Murphy.
You have Trey Murphy, all right.
Yeah, I have a lot of Trey Murphys in. You know that. You know I've told you about Trey Murphy. I've mentioned him a lot in our episodes. I think he's gonna have a big role this year. He's a guy who can score, he can shoot, and he showed it today. How many threes did he have today? Four, five? I don't know. He had 24 minutes. So actually, the guy that you should be more worried about is Herb Jones, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I also mentioned
Yeah,
that in our Twitter account that Herb
because
Jones didn't do much. He might end up being well, hopefully not, but the Tybull of last year.
remember, no, I don't think he's gonna be a tie bull. That not that bad. But Herb is starting.
But
Trey is coming off the
droppable
bench.
bad, droppable bad.
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Yeah,
Droppable
not
bad.
yet now, but if
I think the
without
stocks
those
will be.
stocks,
Yeah, the stocks should keep him there. And he has enough, a little bit more offense than Tybull to keep him still in 12 team, 14 team conversation. It's just that he's starting. Trey is not starting, so you would think that he's better, but you saw what the three other players, Ingram, Zion, even Jonas Valanciunas and McCollum did. They scored
yeah,
20 plus points each. And then Valanciunas had 13 points, 13 rebounds or something. So where would that fit Herb Jones? That's the problem. I don't know how he's going to get touches, if ever, in that
yeah.
first
But what do
five.
you expect from Herb Jones when it comes to scoring?
I hope like last year he had at least 12 points, two 3 pointers a game, and then he can get the two to three steals, a block sometimes. The rebounding was good last year. This year he's gonna have a hard time getting that rebounding rate up with Jonas and Zion there. So he's gonna be affected. He's gonna be affected.
Actually, my expectations of Herb Jones are lower. I don't mind single digit scoring, maybe 8 points or maybe 6, 5 rebounds, but give me 3 or 2 steals, 2 blocks per game. I'll be happy with that. I mean, that's what I got Herb Jones for the stocks. So if he doesn't show stocks like today, he only had 1 block, although it was a great block against KD, but it's not enough for me. So yeah, the Herb Jones is a worry player actually. Um, Trey, what's this? Francis Lianita, 14 team head to head first pick. Jokic on draft, but thoughts on picking up Cole Anthony? That's isn't that too early? Fifth round?
That is way too early. 14, 14 team fifth round. That's 70. That's too early. That's way too early.
70s. The guards there are there aren't Jamal Murray's there, right?
Well,
70s.
I would even pick KPJ even higher. I mean, there's the Angelo Russell there. There's
Yeah,
Jamal's. If you pick Jamal in the 70s, it's because you listen to us. No, we did say you have to pick him there. He was ranked way lower than that.
yeah.
But yeah, Jamal Russell.
I mean,
Who
those were
else?
the guards in that range.
Brunson, Jalen Brunson maybe was there.
Brunson was a little higher, but
At
within that fifth
70,
round.
sometimes he's there. Sometimes he's there at 70. But KPJ will definitely be there. Jalen Green. I mean, although he's not a point guard, but still, a lot more guards who are better at the fifth round. Cole, to be honest, he should be around one times two of that, maybe at the 130s to 140s, around
Which
ninth to
is
10th round.
where he is usually drafted. I mean,
Yeah.
12, I mean, 120 at the earliest, I guess 110 at the earliest. Um, but yeah, too early for Cole. But since you have him now, well, you can't do anything about it, but just hope that he plays well. He did play today because of an illness, so at least it's not an injury, but uh, all you can do is just hope
Cole
that he
Cole is
plays
in the
well.
mold of Highland and Dinwiddie. They're in the same
Yeah,
mix.
but he's
In,
starting though. He should be starting. I mean, the role is bigger compared to those two.
Dinwiddie starting, although he has Luca. Cole
Yeah,
is
but
starting, but he has Suggs now. He has Banquero. He has Franz Wagner. So not much better in my opinion. I think he's same with Dinwiddie at this point.
how about this Holmes? Who's Holmes? Rishon Holmes or Bol
Yes,
Bol by Teddy Mark.
ball ball. I
Yeah,
would go with ball ball.
Holmes is a wait and see type of thing. I don't think he played much today as well.
He had 15 minutes. Holmes will not get any fantasy relevance once as long as Sabonis is healthy. So again, we're answering based on people being healthy. We cannot speculate on injuries. And injuries happen, then you can add Holmes. But for now, it's ball ball.
Yeah. I never regret dropping Precious Achua for. Yeah, you should not.
Well, you should not. You should not
Precious
regret.
Achua is not rostered in 14 teams. So if you're in a 14 team,
This is why during drafts you pick someone who's high upside because if somehow something hits, then you get a gold in your hands. Get gold, get a big help. Achua, players like Achua, we know that they can be maybe get 10 points, 8 rebounds. They can produce earlier, but that's their ceiling. They're not gonna get to Duran's possible ceiling. So
all right. This one's an interesting one by Angel John Maria. Cat's performance. Carl Anthony Towns. What can you say? This guy is another disappointing player, but at least there were a bit of peripheral stats there. The assist is okay, but uh, is he settling in? I mean, although in
you,
fairness, and Anthony Edwards also had a bad game, but um,
he'll be better. Cat will be better. This is not what Cat will be this year, but he's not also going to be Cat that you know. Not the Cat that you know before. It's a
but
different
you
Carl
know what
Anthony
my
Towns.
problem is with Cat after seeing the line? I think he shot 10 times today,
Yeah, 17% usage today.
and he shot seven threes. So I think that's too much threes for him. Um, he might end up being like the Embiid before Embiid started going to the post, just chucking up threes. That's not good for Cat because he's a good post up player. He's a good 3 point shooter. That's not mistake about
Cats,
there's no mistake about that. But if he's gonna shoot a lot of threes, then that's going to be a problem fantasy wise.
we did project this. We did say his
Yeah,
field goals will go down, his threes should go up, but his rebounds will go down, his blocks will go down. Which is what happened today. The assists should go up because he's now gonna be able to freelance a bit on offense. He doesn't have to post all the time, as you said. He's on the perimeter, he's trying to take the shots, 3 point shots. So those will offset each other, but the efficiency will not be there. And that's a big thing with the value of Cat and a big guy, a value of a big man. Because no matter how good he passes, he won't pass away, a Halliburton or Trey Young does. So uh, a little buy low for people if you want Cat, but buy low as in a second round low. You can get him right now if he continues to play this way.
yeah, there are a few second rounders who did play well as well this year. Um, Here, Sean Allen, how high can you possibly trade Rozier for?
Go high. I mean, you can go. I mean, if Anthony Edwards continues to struggle, who knows, right?
It's still early, too early to sell high on certain players. I guess
Well, it
is it?
depends. I mean, if your projections are rock solid, you're really confident in your own projections. Let's say the thing here is that we know the first rounders will rank as first rounders. The draft season is over. You should not think about the draft anymore. You should not think about where you pick that player. You pick that player in round one doesn't mean the player is first rounder. You pick the player in round two doesn't mean the player is a second rounder. It now depends on their performance. But what we're sure of is there's a big chance that the 12 or 14 players you pick in the first round, majority of them will end up in the first round because they're really good. But the second round onwards, a lot of changes will happen. A lot of players in the second round will probably be more as third or fourth rounders. Rozier was probably picked the 40s or 50s. That's in 12 team leagues. That's probably fourth round. He could be a second rounder this year if Lamelo misses a lot of games. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of games. He can go
and
as high
and
as
like we
top
said, the
three.
second rounders are not a sure thing. I mean, even like players like Sabonis struggled today.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards struggled today. Who else were the second rounds? We haven't seen the Paul George or the other guys yet, but there could be, and plus Rozier is a really good fantasy player. One of Commission's favorite as well. So how high depends on who is high in your list, projected rankings list, your own personal rankings,
Yeah.
right?
You can,
Uh,
as I said, you can go Edwards, Cade. Cade struggled today.
yeah,
But really, I think they're really close. Rozier and Cade are not far off each other.
yeah.
You can't go first rounder for Rozier. That's not gonna happen. So I don't think
You can't
Paul
go
George.
Lillard. You can't go,
You
Carl
can go
Anthony
to
Towns. You
Paul
can try
George.
Carl Anthony Towns.
I doubt that will fly. Also, I doubt that will happen. So those Paul George, those Towns, those are off
No,
limits.
not
I
on a
think.
one-on-one trade. I think
You
he
know,
can.
maybe Kyrie. If you want Kyrie, if you really,
Kyrie
if,
struggled. Yeah, and
yeah,
there's a
I
lot of
mean,
risk there.
yeah, but I would rather have Rozier than Kyrie though. So I don't know. It's up to you guys. So what do you think? If you have
What
Rozier
do
at
you
this
think?
point,
What's your thought on Kyrie? I mean, it depends on how you think about Kyrie. I mean, is it? Do you think Kyrie would play well, or do you think he'll miss time? Do you think he'll, that's on a
he
person to
will find
person basis.
ways to miss time, but he won't miss as much time as before. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. I can't say anything about the injuries. No, we can't predict that,
Yeah, we
but
can.
the other extracurricular stuffs there would be 3 4 5 games maybe that he misses for personal reasons, but that's it. I think he's gonna be in his best behavior. We talked about this. It's contract year. He needs to play well and prove himself to get a
Yeah,
big contract, and no matter how crazy he is, money is money. Mula is mula. He would need the money, so he would be on his well, relatively best
Quickly,
behaved.
all right, quickly. This is probably going to be a quick one. Cameron Payne,
No, I'm not interested in
unless
Payne.
very very deeply.
I know Chris
Uh,
Paul struggled, so maybe the question is because Chris Paul struggled, so maybe they thought that Payne ended the game. So maybe there's something there. But Paul's struggle today was for me not that worrisome. I know you might be worried because he's old and everything. I
yeah,
think he's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna be fine.
I'm not yet worried because it's just the first game, but plus they didn't really play well until the second half, so um, it's still a wait and see for Chris Paul. Cole, Eason, Melton, Bamba got dropped. Who is worth third waiver priority? This is going to be a good question because at this point it's really talking about picking up players using your waiver priority. Any one of these worth on
I
your
won't
third?
I won't use my third priority on any of these,
Honestly,
especially if
since
they're
there's a lot of options there, I mean, if you're
yes,
looking at a
yes,
lot of options, just don't use the
I won't.
priority. Not everyone's gonna pick all of these players. Wait for them to
Yes.
clear and see who ends up where,
And
right?
that's what I'm gonna say. Whoever doesn't get waiver pick, I mean waiver prioritized, I'll just pick
Or
him.
claimed
I'm,
claimed in the waivers.
yes. I doubt people after what Melton did yesterday. I doubt people will put a waiver claim on him. Eason maybe, but as I said, you would. I think if someone claimed
Still
him
not
in
worth it. Yeah.
waivers, he might be back on waivers
Yeah.
any sometime soon. So it's just a waste of your waiver unless you're just gonna say even if you get 0-0-0, I'm gonna hold him until he rises from the dead. But unless you're that adamant about having Eason and you're that sure about your team, like JJT's team in I don't know Champions League, it's super strong. So JJT
No, I'm
can
down.
well, it's just 2 days. It's really not small sample size. Cole, no. Bamba, even more no. So none
Yeah.
of these
None
guys.
of these. Thoughts on Duarte by George Santana.
He
So
did get injured,
right,
right?
what?
Duarte. I think he got injured, Duarte. That's why he played
I'm not
only
sure.
couple of um very low upside. I knew Duarte was low upside, and I know you don't like Duarte.
I don't
And
like Duarte.
I'm not a fan of Duarte, but I always pick him in the last few rounds, so I'm okay with dropping him, especially if Maturin continues this. It's bad news for him. I'm gonna wait to see if what the injury is, how it is. If it's just mild and he comes back the next game, I think he might bounce back. But overall, he's not a stronghold. He's not a stronghold.
Melton, we talked about Melton. I know Komish said that he'll keep him for a few more games and see
He's
what
gonna
happens.
average out fine. He's gonna average out in the 110s. He'll
Yeah.
have bad games. He'll have good games, and he'll have bad games. And then
This is just classic Melton. I mean,
yeah,
if
that's
you
just gonna
drop
happen.
him, after yesterday's game, he'll probably play well tomorrow. If you
Better,
and
play
then
better too.
yeah, he play better tomorrow, and then you pick him up, he'll probably play another, give you another dud, and then drop him again. I mean, this is classic Melton, even from the
And
Memphis days.
that's why it's hard to pick non-starters because if you're not a starter, it's really tough to be consistent. Be
That's why
unless
the
you're the
question about Olinik a while ago. I mean, if Olinik was a drop, it's so hard to drop players like those because they're starter. They're already a starter. Their backup is not as polished or as NBA ready as them, so they're not the they don't their backup doesn't really have an advantage over the starter. Plus, Olinik is not a superstar who they will preserve, right? I mean, so
yeah.
that's the good thing about starters who are not superstars. They will get their chances. And lastly, Olinik would have proven that he can perform fantasy wise. He can give you the numbers, the lines, the stat lines that you need. So Melton though is a off the bench player, so it's going to be up and down for him. Shadon Sharp.
I
I we
have
talked about this a
18.
while ago. Yeah,
Yeah, I have a Roto league that is 18 team and quite deep. I picked him up. I like the way he played today. He has a good stroke. He was always compared to Paul George. So you could see that. You could see that in his game. But the problem, as we said before, why we don't know much about him. He didn't play college. He didn't play in. He played 7 minutes in summer league. He didn't play preseason. Little in preseason. So this is the first time we really see him, how he plays, how he adjusts to the NBA game. So it's positive. I like what I saw from him, but it's too early. It's too early to pick him, I think, unless you're in 20 team leagues or very very deep leagues. You're I think you're muted
Yeah.
there.
Trey Murphy. Commission answered
Right.
this already. Um, and yeah, an ad. Malik Beasley, hold or drop. How did Beasley played well? I think whole of Utah played well today. Much to the dismay of Danny Ainge for sure.
But Beasley is a drop. Um, he's a streamer. He's not a drop because had a bad game. He's a drop because he's not good enough to be a permanent player in your roster. So
He'll,
if he's a permanent player in your roster, you might not have a strong team.
maybe it's a
but
deep league.
well, if it's a deep league, yes. But I'm assuming it's a 12 team league. No, I'm assuming it's a 12 team league.
Standard
So in
league,
12,
standard league. He's not
it's
rosterable
standard
in
leagues.
standard league.
Yeah.
He'll probably have good games, a stretch of good games like how Malik Beasley has been. Maybe two, three string of two, three good games, and then he falls off after those. So yeah, Coach Andy is watching. Coach Andy, thanks for the
Coach Sandy, I'm fine with 5-4. Let's call it a week. I'm okay with it.
uh, Zach Levine.
Mm. Who to target?
Here's the problem with Zach Levine. Who to target? Trade for him.
I think Bradley Beal is the closest player there, or because his value is low. Bradley Beal, even if he plays well, the hype is gone, the excitement and everything, and he gets injured here or there. So time it properly in the sense that Levine is already playing couple of weeks already straight without any issues, and then maybe Beal struggles a little. Bradley's the closest there. But maybe you can get SGA for him if you want.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
risk for
that's
risk.
also
To me,
possible.
that's
That
another
both are
trade
risky.
strategy, right?
Yeah,
Risk
both are
trade
risky.
risk for risk.
I would prefer SGA over Zach Lavine, just to be
Kyrie,
clear.
since you're
Kyrie is
already
also
there,
possible. Yeah. Let's see
uh,
where the knee of Lavine brings us. Can easily be those players. Can easily be players
he
way
said,
below.
I saw in an not he saw, I read in a post that he didn't really feel pain, which is more worrying because he didn't really feel pain. It's just more of load managing the knee.
No, no, no. I think Billy Donovan was interviewed, and he did say that there was a little problem. He felt something,
Mm.
but he said it's not gonna be a week or month thing. He said it's just something that they have to rest. I don't know why he said that, but he did say that once when they were ramping up his activities, he felt something, a little pain, but not the pain that is worrying. I don't know how you can. I don't know.
Me, I'm worried about that. I mean,
Yes.
first game, and they rule him out. Thoughts on Jeremiah Robinson Earl?
Well, since it's an 18-team league, yeah, I would probably roster him there because he was supposed to be the starting center, but ended up not starting. So I'm just keeping him there because I doubt you can get much in your waiver wires. So he's super super low end. Even if he starts, he's like not really gonna give you much in
I mean,
fantasy.
you're probably gonna hold on to him just because you don't have anyone to pick.
Yeah, but we did
But
mention names at the start of the show that maybe you could see if they're
you
there. I would
you
love like to see.
you, you put in the comment who are available, and then we'll let you know if they would be better. Primo, Commissioner said Primo could have some value just because games could be they might want to develop him. He's young. I think he's what 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, 19. He in 18 team, same person here, 18 team, I would go Primo. If it's just JRE or Primo, I'm going to go Primo. And he
Yeah.
should be rostered in 18 teams. I think Primo.
Thoughts on Middleton? Middleton's out for at least a month, I think.
I would consider trading Levine for Middleton at this point. The owner of Middleton might
No,
be
but
might be
that's in
worried.
no. I don't think.
Y-
Well, in fairness, the last draft I had, Middleton went what 60,
Yeah.
70,
And I tell you,
60
if you're
plus
patient
70.
enough and you can hold on, your team can hold on until Middleton comes back, you're gonna get good value. Exactly the same as what Pascal Siakam was last year. The injury is not lower body, it's not knee, it's not leg, it's I think the hand,
If
right?
if they started with the playoffs, I think Middleton would already play.
Yes, yes.
I think
So
they're
you just
just
have to be
trying to
patient.
make sure that he goes through the actual rehab process, right, and not do the shortcut stuff since it's going to be a long season. But yeah, I think he's worth a hold. I got him in some leagues wherein he's 60 plus already, 60. So all I need is to survive probably a month without him and not get
Yeah.
demolished in my matchups. Uh, Cat is trying to be Steph. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. He
Yeah.
feels like he is Steph, but no, he is far from that. Do I need to drop Bamba 14 team? Yeah, you can. You can drop by Richmond C.
I,
Rosales
I'm okay with dropping Bamba. Depends on who you're gonna add though.
as
If it's
well. Yeah.
Duren, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
MPJ played okay.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, for
more
a
important,
guy who missed pretty much the whole of last year, scored 15 points. I think he had 7 rebounds, something like that. Um,
more importantly, at 35 minutes. So that means
yeah.
he's really feeling good. He's feeling healthy. So I'm not worried at all about MPJ. I mentioned this story. People did the people who are covering Denver. They said after the surgery there will be 2 to 3 good years for MPJ before it could act up again the back. So I think at this point he should be good. He just had his surgery, just had his rehab and everything. Maybe this season would be a good season, but eventually it will catch up to him, the back problems, because it's his second or third surgery already.
Yeah. So I think he did well. He did well today. Kawhi going to be tomorrow's going to be crucial to see how Kawhi is. But yeah, he'll
Next
probably
year,
miss some about a lot of all the back to backs.
he will.
This is
He
the
will miss.
Kawhi is the father of load management. I don't think load management,
If we can
but
answer this question, we'll be very rich.
yeah.
we'll, be,
I
we'll
we
win
don't
all.
know. We don't know if it's going to be a problem. In fact, we don't know if even if he's healthy, he might sit some
Yeah,
games, right? I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't really have to depend on his health at this point. Uh, and I've listened to lots of podcasts. It's not even the player. I mean, players are given crap for sitting down, but it's really a lot of these things are because of the team doctors, the medical staff, uh, load managing their players. I think uh, that's what's happening in the NBA. All right, this is not fantasy related, but who are your predictions for the West and the East?
For the West, I think it's gonna be I like Milwaukee. East. I'm sorry, in the East, I like Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee over Boston in the East. In the
Yeah,
West, I have the Clippers. They're just too deep
over.
over Warriors. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I'll go Milwaukee as well. Uh Boston has been really looking good. I think they've after that finals, they've stepped it up a bit. I mean, it's like, getting that experience and then boosting your confidence just because of that experience. I think that's what happened with Boston, and they've been really playing well. I mean, at this point, even during the preseason, they look like they're in mid-season form already. Uh, Even after all those crazy things that has happened with them. So, and they don't even have Robert Williams yet. So,
So you're Boston and Clippers.
Clippers, and yeah, I like Clippers. I don't think I always when doing predictions, I always play the odds. I don't think Boston gets to the finals, so I probably go Milwaukee.
So we're the
Um,
same.
but I have this hunch that Philly can be one of those teams as well in the finals, conference finals. So, but I think Milwaukee has a best chance of getting there.
Who's your champion this year?
Um, I like the Clippers actually.
I'm gonna go Milwaukee because I can't predict Clippers. I just can't. I hate them. We're Laker fans, you know. It's just like I can't predict LaSalle to win in any contest or any 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 tournament. So I'll go with the Bucks. I think they're gonna win another chip.
Who's gonna be the Clippers' opponent? You mentioned
The Warriors.
the Warriors. Yeah, maybe the
I think
Warriors.
I think there will be a surprise out there in the West. I think that's the Pelicans. The Pelicans will be like the Phoenix Suns when the Suns were emerging. The Suns had a good win today, but I think their window is past. The Suns window has passed. So it's the Pelicans time. I think they could challenge maybe for a conference semifinals, conference finals, even if it works for them. But I don't think they're gonna be ready to get to the finals. It's the Clippers first right now.
All right, let's move back. Just a few more questions, then we call it a night. Lowry, is he going to be the new Kemba Walker? Maybe,
Possible. Yeah, possible. It's very
possible.
possible.
He'll probably have some good games. I think here and there. He had 34 minutes. That's why he's very disappointing. He had 34 minutes today.
Um,
Um, also, I think it doesn't help that Tyler Hero is already starting. So that gives them two ball handlers on the floor uh, in their starting lineup. So I don't think that helps Lowry's cause. I mean, uh, that's just me. That's just my. Why is Tyler Hero starting?
They don't
Who
have Oladipo. Oladipo is
out? Yeah,
injured. They're not starting
Oladipo.
Struss. They're not starting Duncan Robinson. And I think Hero wants to start. He's really, really, really wants to show what he can do as a starter. Lowry, yes, could be a Kemba Walker because he's 30 what, 36. There's personal issues also with Lowry that kept him out of games last year. That's why he dropped in drafts all the way to 100,
Yeah.
110, 105, 106. This is the reason why. And yeah, but you could see if 3 4 more games and it's all like this, then that's not good. It's not good.
Streamers for tomorrow. It's going to be a small slate tomorrow. Not many
Yeah,
streamers actually.
Philadelphia versus Milwaukee, and
Yeah.
then the Clippers versus the Lakers.
Grayson Allen could be one.
Grayson Allen is the number one streamer. I think I stream Marcus Morris because I
Yeah.
saw lots of
Marcus
Marcus. I
Morris.
think he's gonna start. So I have Allen, I have Morris. Those are the two players I like to stream. The Lakers. I don't know
None
after
if
the
he's
last
still
game.
available.
I'm not sure if none is available for you guys, but if he is, he's probably the best stream for the Lakers
Austin
for
Reeves,
tomorrow.
maybe. Deeper
Yeah.
leagues.
Well, I have
John
Austin
Wall,
Reeves
no, John Wall has been drafted.
because Austin Reeves I have him for tomorrow because I streamed him for the last time out and I just kept him until for tomorrow before I drop him. But I'm not confident in Austin Reeves tomorrow.
All right. Irvin Villanueva talking about JJJ. If picking JJJ at the spot was, yeah, 103, is it worth
Yeah,
it?
especially with positive updates, it's worth it. It might be better that I snatch Jalen from you because JJJ will pay off for you if
Yeah,
he
you just
comes
have
back.
to survive the next couple of months, I guess.
Yeah, or you can give him to me. We can make a deal.
for Jalen Smith.
No, 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 not for Jaden Smith. Not now, not now. I still need warm bodies there.
uh, Robert Williams, hold or trade 12 team.
Mhm. If we can
Doesn't
trade him, I'll trade him. As I said, he might come back this year. I don't know, January or February, but I doubt he's gonna be healthy. I really doubt he's gonna be healthy. That he's gonna be like Robert Williams. So maybe next season, but I think he's gonna play 50, 70, 80% maybe of his real potential, real capacity. So if you can trade him, I'll just trade him. Marvin
Marvin
Williams.
Williams.
Who's Marvin? Maybe Marvin Bagley? I don't think
Yeah, who's
Marvin Williams
Marvin
is retired.
Williams? It's Marvin
I mean,
Williams to play.
yeah, he's
Chris
retired.
Luis Bernardo.
The Charlotte guy, Marvin
Yeah,
Williams, the
I
one
know. That's the
with
first
one.
person. And
But if that's the person, he's also a fantasy bust. He has always been maybe Patrick Williams. Could be Patrick Williams or Marvin Bagley, but I think it's Patrick
wait,
Williams.
wait. Let me see. There might be a correction. Uh, no, there's Marvin. Maybe Patrick Williams. Right. Let's
Yeah,
assume it's Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams is gonna go to the route of Isaac Okoro. High picks were boss who just really not worth the high pick. Very, very low uh low usage guys. So no, I've never been a fan of Patrick Williams.
Yeah. Yeah. Not as well. All right. There's a question here by JC. After week two, how many games is too far behind for the sixth seed to start worrying about possibly trading to build defense teams?
For the sixth seed to start worrying. So
So,
meaning
meaning after 2 weeks, if you are not yet there in the sixth seed, how far should you be worried already? Like if you're in the eighth, ninth seed, or how many games behind should you be before you get worried?
I experienced that. I had a 1-8 and 2-7 start, I think, one time, and I was 3-15, and the 8th seed was right still around. The 6th seed was, or 6th or 8th seed, in our leagues it's 8 seeds, was around 50-50, like 8-8 or something. So that point, that was already too much for me. 6 or 7 games behind is really, but week two is still early. Week two is early. Well, what I just think is try to get one game each week to try to move closer and closer and closer to the playoff spot.
I
But
think
sometimes,
it's a long season. I think three to
yeah,
four weeks would be a good gauge on where your team strengths are, where are you weak. Um, it also helps if you look at the other teams who you're not playing against, see where you stand there, right? I think there's a standing in Yahoo wherein you can see where you stand in the rankings, right?
yeah,
The totals. I think that's the where the team stats are. At least there, you can gauge what adjustments you can make after 3 to 4 weeks, especially if your team is healthy. It's easier. But if your team has a one injured player, major player who is injured, then it's harder to gauge because you might want to wait for him to come back and all. So, but if everyone's healthy, after 3 to 4 weeks, I think you could gauge what adjustments you need to make and start trading. Like I had a league wherein I lost, I think, four straight already, and then decided to just change everyone. Like my top player, I had Giannis then. I switched it up to Carl Anthony Towns and some of the guys. So and then it improved my chances. It helped my team as well. So there. 2 weeks is a little too early, I think. Yeah. Kennard Hill, Wesley Ibaha Carter. What's this?
for
Maybe these
tomorrow,
are the streamers.
yeah.
These are very deep. If you have these streamers, these are gonna be very deep leagues already.
If you really want someone here, I'll go Niang. I think this is Shake Milton, right? So George Niang. I think I will go with those because the Sixers. Sixers bench is shallower. They don't have much scorers off the bench, so I'd probably go Niang. George Hill, he
Who's
doesn't do
Wesley?
much. Wesley Matthews. Wesley
Okay,
Matthews
okay.
from for Milwaukee. Kennard or Niang. Although, as I said, Kennard in a very deep team. Very, very deep team. So I'd probably go Niang. You're muted again.
Sorry. Kenji C. Both of your leagues fairing. It's just the first week. We haven't even finished the first week.
Well, I'm down in a lot of leagues. I'm down in a lot of leagues. We have so many leagues. We really don't, we don't.
We have so many leagues. The emotions are just roller coaster. There are good league. There are we're up. I'm up in a few, down in a few. I mean, in the team ones that I manage, at least I'm up in majority of them. But it's still just the second game day. I mean, way too early. To say. Caleb Martin, what's your thoughts on Caleb Martin? I think he's a streamer, not really a
um,
whole 14 team.
in certain teams, I think you could hold him. But yeah, you're correct. With so many
I
good,
think this depends on who you're gonna pick up
yeah. I
for
dropped him
him.
in a 14 team league. I added Duran. So I would not have dropped him, but I found the upside of Duran too appealing. So I went with Duran. But
Yeah,
if not,
and
I would have been happy to just roster him because he's okay. He's a starting power forward and he's gonna help in a lot of in the stocks department especially. So and he can shoot
who would you
threes.
rather have though, Caleb Martin or Royce O'Neal?
Caleb Martin. Royce O'Neal, I streamed. I'm happy to say I streamed today. Because Royce O'Neal is not going to be this good. Number one, we know that. Number two, it was without Joe Harris and Seth Curry. Both of them will return sometime. Seth might be returning earlier, and when Royce O'Neal goes to the bench, that's he's not going to get 34 minutes.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I had Caleb Martin and just decided to just stream the spot.
Yeah, that works as well.
So yeah, Harrison Barnes, our favorite, a drop.
Hmm, depends on who you're gonna add, but it's okay.
In
I mean,
general, I think it's still too early.
yeah, it's early, but you know what you're gonna get with Barnes. You're not gonna regret it really if you drop Barnes. That's just how I'll put it.
Drop
And
and never look back. That's the
yeah,
deal.
you'll not regret it. He can have 30-point games sometimes, and you'll it's okay
No,
because
I don't think he's gonna have 30-point game
there
with
would
this
be. He's a scorer.
Sacramento team.
I mean, in an 82 game season, he probably has one or two good games, but overall, he's meh. I mean, even a worse Tobias Harris, I think. So you could stream the spot if he's really your worst player. Yeah, sure, go.
All right, so Chris clarified it's Mark Williams,
Okay.
the Charlotte, right? In Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte rookie.
Did
Four
he play
minutes in
today?
garbage time. 4 minutes in garbage time. That answers the question. I
Nick
was really high
Richards,
on.
guys. Nick Richards.
I'm so high on Mark Williams. I just don't understand the thinking of Charlotte playing somebody like Nick Richards over him. But it is what it is. So nah, not
Seniority,
not
I
not
think.
yet. Yeah.
Jonathan Kuminga. Any thoughts?
Deeper leagues maybe, but the role will not be there for him. There's Moody, there's Vincenzo, so I think not gonna be consistent enough. Streamer kind, Kuminga. I
Uh,
like Weissman more.
yeah, Wiseman. Wiseman. I think Wiseman would be a good player to have. Is it really required to stream early in the season? How about if you're 12, 13 man roster? No, don't need to
No,
stream.
no,
I mean, you
no.
only
You
stream
don't.
if you see a player who is not really performing.
Although I'm gonna say that in head to head, it's really better to have one spot that is a streamer spot. But there is a situation with like your case that you drafted well, you don't have anybody you want to drop. and then so you have all your players, you can't stream. The problem there, sometimes the schedule gets to you, because if your opponent streams well and gets 6 or 7 additional games over you based on the streaming, that might that might you know that might be a big factor in your matchup. So what I usually do is try to trade 2 for 1s and try to get better, try to improve my core. That's what I do. If I have a really strong team, I don't have anybody I want to drop. I really try to be aggressive in improving the talent of my core players. Like, get better player, the 2 for 1 trade.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not a requirement. As long as you're winning,
Yeah, if you're winning, then yeah,
as long
fine.
as you're winning. If you're losing, then you might want to think twice about not streaming. Maybe there's something wrong there in one of your players, or not a good fit. Hero is asking about Struss and Bojan. Bojan played well. I mean, for a
Not
guy
surprised.
picked probably in the 11th round, 10th round, right? He had 6 threes, 24 points. He's the if there's one guy there in that latter rounds who can score 20 points, that's the guy, Bojan. So
Yes,
yeah, he
yes. Not
played well.
surprising. And when he was traded to Detroit, we said we liked him a lot because Detroit needed a shooter. Detroit needed shooting shooting around Cade Cunningham, and Jaden Ivey was not really that great of a shooter. So that's not surprising. I think he should be rostered already everywhere anyway.
Yeah.
But this is one of his good games. He doesn't have that good shooting days consistently. Sometimes he struggles. So
Plus,
yeah, if
you won't get other much else other
yeah,
than scoring. I mean, maybe some rebounding, and then that's it. No
yes.
little assists, no defense. So
Bojan over Struss though. Bojan over Struss. If that is also part of the
yeah,
question, I we prefer Bojan. Struss played well today, but not expecting again this kind of shooting from him uh, every game. So just a streamer for me, Max Struss.
all right. So the others we already answered. Hartenstein must 12 team. 12 team must roster Hartenstein. Depends, I guess.
Possible, yeah. I can see in last 12 teams, 13, as you said, 12, even in 12-team leagues, 13 roster spot, that's 156 players.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that Hardenstein is not one of the 156
No,
best
no,
players? So, I
no.
mean,
Especially if you have a like a two center league, right?
yes. And even if you
Uh,
just say that the last 12 spots are streamer spots, 144 still, I think he's within the 144 top players right now in fantasy.
all
So
right.
yeah,
And as Brandon Clark, a drop with the way Aldama plays. A little
possible.
too early, but it
Yeah,
depends on how deep your league. I just feel it's a little too early. Brandon Clark has always been,
I project he's gonna be dropped. He's gonna
yeah,
be a droppable guy soon.
yeah. But he's a six man. He's been a six man, but he's also been a slow starter though.
That's true. But
He's a slow
again,
starter.
with Aldama and then JJJ still possibly coming back, that doesn't look good for him. So again, he's droppable. Not don't drop someone just because you want to drop someone. I mean, drop him because have someone you really like, and he's probably the best. You know, best possible. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. If you're gonna drop him for Aldama, yes, then yes. The answer is
Mm,
yes. So yeah, guys, that's all the comments as well we have. So just in time on RN30, we'll post this on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. um, Fantasy Benchwarmers. We have all the videos there, and our DFS videos are also there, and our daily quickies would also be there. We'll post this as our daily quickie for today. Q&A. We'll have more of these in the future, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, so we can help you out with your fantasy teams. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night. Bye.